now here you are, face to face in this trashy bar. Another glass and I am going.
Well, welcome back into the studio for another Throwback Thursday. So we're taking it back to 2019, and this was at the beginning of the year, and this piece was done in the beginning of 2019. And it was, well, let me back up a little bit. Late last year, 2024, I discovered that I had a handful of pieces that I had video footage of, but I had never shared them on this YouTube channel. So I thought I'd share them now in 2025 as a limited series. It's a nice sneak peek into my growth as an artist, and part of me really cringes to share some of these, but looking back on them has been a real discovery of how my process and style has changed, and also some things that I want to go back to a little bit and rediscover. So I hope that you enjoy this look back to 2019, to my word for the year, which was benevolence. And just have some knowledge that the color, the lighting, the shaking, that's all because I hadn't perfected my filming yet. I was still really learning. I think I've really come a long way in the quality of my filming, as well as my setup and editing, etc. So a bit of the history, like I said, it was my 2019 word of the year, and I originally had planned on using it in an art journal, but mounted it to a cradle board instead. I did find a bit that I wrote about this after I created it, and that read, literally, this is what I had written. What a doozer of a word. When I geared up to do this journal page, I only knew two things. I wanted lots of text that was visible, and I wanted to use Payne's Gray. This left lots of room for intuitive inspiration. So I want to start off just kind of letting you know I've come in, you've been watching this, I've come in with some collage in the background. I first started though with a layer of gesso, and then came in and added that using a bristle chip brush, which added a lot of actual texture to the surface. And then using my Macho medium and collage down all these papers. I also then came in, one of those papers is my lovely IKEA paper, which is the paper when you go to IKEA and buy something fragile, they wrap it up in this paper, and that's what I used in here, and I call it the IKEA paper. I also used the Dina Wakley Media Clear Gesso over some areas that I really wanted to pop through. So I wanted it so that I could then pick up anything, it wouldn't saturate into the papers. And then from there I go ahead and I add the crackle paste and let that do its thing. So that's where I've started.
Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. Everything makes total sense when you're next to, when you're next to, when you're next to me.
So now that I've let that crackle paste dry and do its thing, I am coming in with a Seth Apter stamp called French Text and Ranger's Archival ink in Cobalt. And I felt that the Cobalt would play well with the Payne's Gray, which is a really dark blue, grayish blue. Sometimes it's almost akin to black. A lot of people use it as their black. And so I felt like it would play nicely. It's not a color I use a lot. This is an archival ink. I don't know what possessed me to buy it because I'm not a huge blue fan. But I really like how it ends up showing through when this piece is done. And from there I'm going to pull in some Payne's Gray acrylic paint. I'm going to water it way down. Now I may not have done that, and today I wouldn't really add a lot of water as much as I did here. I probably would add a little bit of airbrush medium to get it thinner and then add some water to it, because it is going to lose what makes it an acrylic and makes it non-water soluble. So it's going to break it down a little bit. But it really worked here. It soaked beautifully into some of the papers. I did do this game back and forth, playing with how much I wanted to show. I knew I wanted it darker at the bottom and lighter at the top, but I love how it soaks into some of those papers. And true to having used that Dina Wakley clear gesso, repelled in other areas. And looking back, I probably wouldn't have used a brush to apply this paint. I probably would have used my fingers or a sponge or something today. But I hadn't at that point in time discovered my finger tools and how awesome they would be for me, and how I could like paint with like Braille, like use my fingers to read the page. So yeah, I just noticed that. All right, I've come in with some Dina Wakley in the Media Marine acrylic paint, as well as a little bit of that Payne's Gray, and I'm going to mix that together to get a slightly different blue tone out of that. Because you know, if you take the paint that you've already put on and you mix it with another paint to get a different color, it's gonna go, because it has that original color in it, and that being the Payne's Gray. And I wanted something just really a real deep blue, but less dark, like the Payne's gray. So I did come in with that marine color. I love that color. And I'm just going to push that through a part of this Rebecca Meyer Thoughtful Bird stencil by TCW, or the Crafters Workshop, and add that bird to the bottom right corner portion of this page. And I love how I use so much of this stencil, but in a completely different way than how it is on the stencil. I used it to meet the needs that I had, you know, for this page, which literally probably didn't even know at the time. So I'm coming in with that same stencil and a palette knife and some of this Finnabair Basics heavy body gel, and doing the circular pattern that is on that, both the top part and the bottom piece of that circular pattern, and pushing that heavy body gel through so that you, even if you add color to it, you're gonna get glimpses of whatever's underneath. And from there I'm gonna use another portion, the poppy floral piece that's off to the right of that, and I'm going to push some red paint through that part of the stencil. So I have a big circular thing happening here where things are coming in a circular motion from the left down to the bottom of the page and then back up and swooping to that left top corner again, creating a pull of the person who views this, pulling their eye from one side, top left, to the bottom right of this page. And that's going to become more and more apparent as I complete this page. So I'm coming in with a Stabilo all in black. I will come in also with some sepia and add some detail to that floral piece. I'm using the tea bag strand as the stem, and I'm gonna just really accentuate that floral portion. And then coming in again with that Stabilo all in black to go over the areas that I used that heavy body gel through the stencil. This will allow that Stabilo all to go down into the crevices and accentuate that texture, make it pop. Again, adding that circular flow. Something that I've learned that really works well with that Stabilo wall is I could have gotten my finger just slightly wet and rubbed over it, and it would have made that circular area pop even more. With the baby wipe, I'm pulling up a lot of the Stabilo wall and not allowing it to move and flow without getting it a lot wetter than just dipping it into the water did. So now I'm coming in with another Stabilo wall, but this one is in the sepia, and I'm just doing some journaling using asemic writing about my word of the year. And I'm doing that around the edge. I'm gonna come in and move it and activate that Stabilo wall with some water, so you just, besides it being asemic writing, you can't see what I wrote, but it gives that feel of handwriting around that page. And I'm going to follow up with some shading using a General's charcoal in the 4B soft, as well as that sepia in areas around the floral and the circular portion around the bird.
Oh, here you are, face to face in this trashy bar. Another glass and I am going places. Makes me laugh about the irony of everything. I like the way you're thinking. I don't really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind all the smoke is in the bathroom. I don't care at all, baby.
So it's time for my word, and I just really knew immediately that it needed to go in that little circle. And I tried it with just it in the white, but felt like I needed to pull in more of the natural colors, and so I ended up using a piece of text paper and a little bit of that tea bag and layered them up. I do come in and add a little bit of that sepia Stabilo wall just to, so it's not so stark on the page, and then go around the words themselves with some of the black Stabilo wall to finish this page off.
Where you wanna go? I am all about adventure times. Another drink and I'll go anywhere. The way you smile, like a flash in the universe. You are illuminating. I don't really care about the people in the bar line. I don't really mind all the woo girls doing stage dives. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention.
I hope that you have enjoyed this glimpse into where my process and art started, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, wouldn't you consider doing so? It helps me out a great deal. Thank you for coming.